Daily Speak. Learn, listen, speak.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex.
Welcome back to Daily Speak English Podcast, where we learn real English through real conversations. No textbooks, no boring grammar rules, just the English people actually use.
And today we're talking about something big. Something almost every English learner feels, but almost nobody talks about.
The fear of speaking.
That feeling when you know the words, you studied the words, and then someone looks at you and your mouth just stops.
So here's what's coming in the next 30 minutes. Alex is going to tell you about the day he could not order a cup of coffee.
It was very bad.
I'm going to tell you about the 7 days I spent pointing at things instead of talking.
And later, I'll tell you about the time I stood up at a work dinner and accidentally told everyone I was pregnant.
That story is real, and you have to hear it.
Sadly, yes, it's real.
We'll also teach you 8 useful expressions and some rescue phrases you can use the next time your mind goes empty in the middle of a conversation.
So stay with us to the end, because the last story is the one that actually changed how I speak English.
Get comfortable, maybe get a coffee. And let's talk. Alex, I want to start today with a confession.
That's a strong beginning.
Last month, I stood outside a store for 4 minutes because I did not want to go inside and speak.
4 minutes? That's very specific.
I checked my phone twice.
And what was inside this scary store?
Bread. Only bread.
So the bread was not the problem?
The bread was innocent. The problem was that I would have to speak, and I was not sure I could do it well.
And that's exactly why we're talking about this today. The fear of speaking. Not grammar, not vocabulary. The feeling that stops you before the first word.
Because most learners don't fail because they know too little. They stay quiet because they're afraid.
And I know that feeling very well.
Then tell them about the coffee shop.
A few years ago, I was traveling and I walked into a small coffee shop. I had practiced my sentence. I knew exactly what I wanted to say.
What was the sentence?
Can I get a large coffee with milk, please? Simple. I said it in my head maybe 20 times while I waited in line.
So you were ready.
I was very ready. And then it was my turn. And the woman behind the counter smiled and said something completely different.
What did she say?
She said, "Hey there, what are we having today?"
Ah, not the sentence you practiced.
Not even close. And in that moment, my mind went completely blank. Every English word I ever learned just left.
Let's stop there because that's our first expression. My mind went blank.
It means you suddenly can't remember anything, even things you know very well.
You can use it in many situations. I knew the answer, but my mind went blank. Or, in the interview, my mind went blank.
Say it with us. My mind went blank.
My mind went blank.
So there I was. My head was empty, my mouth was open. And I said one word. Coffee.
Just one word?
Just one word. Like a caveman ordering breakfast.
And what did she do?
She said, "Sure, what size?" And I panicked again, and I pointed at a cup.
You pointed.
I pointed. She made the coffee, I paid, I walked outside, and my hands were shaking.
Over coffee.
Over coffee. And all day I kept playing it again in my head. I kept thinking, I studied English for years and I couldn't order a drink.
But here's the important question. Did you get the coffee?
I did get the coffee.
So it worked.
It worked perfectly. I just hated how it felt.
And that's the difference we need to talk about. There's a difference between failing to communicate and feeling embarrassed. They're not the same thing, but our brain mixes them together.
That's true. Nobody in that shop thought I failed. Only I thought that.
So think about your own life for a second. Has your English ever worked fine, but you still felt bad about it? That happens more than we admit.
Now, Sarah, you're the confident one here. People hear you speak and they think you were never nervous.
That's not true at all. Let me tell you about a trip to France.
You speak some French.
I speak some French. I studied it for 3 years. I could read a newspaper slowly. I could write an email.
So you were ready.
I thought I was ready. And on the first morning, a woman at the hotel asked me a simple question, and I got completely tongue-tied.
And that's our second expression. Tongue-tied.
When you're tongue-tied, you can't speak easily because you're nervous or shy. It feels like your tongue is tied in a knot.
You can say, I get tongue-tied in meetings. Or, I wanted to introduce myself, but I got tongue-tied.
Say it with us. Tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied.
And here's the interesting part. What I did next. For the rest of that trip, I didn't speak French at all.
At all?
I used English everywhere. I let my friend order the food. I pointed at menus. I smiled a lot.
A whole vacation of pointing and smiling.
7 days of pointing and smiling. And I came home and told everyone that French is very hard.
But that wasn't really true.
It wasn't true. French wasn't the problem. My fear was the problem, and I protected my fear instead of my language.
That's a strong sentence. Say it again.
I protected my fear instead of my language. Every time I avoided speaking, the fear got a little bigger, and my confidence got a little smaller.
Because avoiding something feels safe. But it's actually practice.
Yes, you're practicing being quiet, and you get very good at it.
Let me ask you something, listener. Is there a situation where you always avoid English? A phone call? A meeting? One person? Just notice it. You don't have to fix it today. Just notice it.
Now, let's talk about the thing everybody is really afraid of, mistakes.
The big one.
Alex, tell them about the word.
Do I have to?
You have to. It's educational.
Okay. I was at a work dinner, and I wanted to say I was embarrassed about something small, and I used the wrong word. I said I was embarazada,
Which is a Spanish word.
which is a Spanish word that means pregnant.
So you told the whole table you were pregnant.
I told the whole table in 2 languages that I was pregnant about a spreadsheet.
And what happened?
Everybody laughed, including me after a few seconds,
And then?
and then nothing. That's the strange part. Nothing happened. Somebody said, "Congratulations," and we kept eating.
Nobody wrote it down. Nobody remembered it the next week.
One person remembered. She still asked me about the spreadsheet.
Some people have a gift. But your point is right. The mistake was funny for 10 seconds, and then it was gone.
And I was able to laugh it off.
That's our third expression. Laugh something off. It means you treat something embarrassing like a joke, so it stops feeling heavy.
I spilled my drink, but I laughed it off. Or, he laughed off the mistake and kept talking.
Say it with us, laugh it off.
Laugh it off.
But let's be honest. Just laugh it off is easy advice and hard practice.
It's much easier said than done.
And that's a bonus expression. Easier said than done. It means something sounds simple, but doing it is hard.
Speak without fear? That's easier said than done.
So let's make it useful. Alex, why do mistakes feel so dangerous?
Because we think the mistake says something about us. Not I used the wrong word, but I'm not good enough.
Exactly. The mistake becomes a judgment.
And here's what changed my thinking. I started paying attention to how I feel when someone speaks my language imperfectly.
What did you notice?
I noticed I don't judge them at all. I usually think, this person is speaking a second language. That's impressive.
So you're kind to everyone except yourself.
A very popular hobby.
So try this. Next time you feel embarrassed, ask yourself, if someone else made this mistake in front of me, what would I think? Usually the answer is nothing. You'd think nothing at all.
Now, Sarah, there's another kind of fear, and I think it's the most common one.
Waiting.
Waiting. I'll speak when my English is better.
I hear this all the time, and it sounds so reasonable.
It sounds responsible. It sounds like a plan.
But there's no day when your English becomes ready. No message arrives that says, "Congratulations, you may now speak."
I had a friend I was helping, and he studied for 2 years before he spoke to anybody.
2 years.
2 years of apps, videos, notebooks, and grammar rules. Great knowledge. Then he joined a conversation group, and after 10 minutes, he wanted to leave.
Because knowing and speaking are different skills.
Completely different. He knew the grammar, but he never practiced the feeling of someone watching you while you look for a word.
And that's the real skill. Not grammar, staying calm while your brain is working.
He almost quit. He got cold feet before the second meeting.
Another expression. Get cold feet. It means you suddenly get too nervous to do something you planned.
I was going to call them, but I got cold feet. Or, she got cold feet before the presentation.
Say it with us. Get cold feet.
Get cold feet.
So did he go back?
He did, but he changed one thing. His goal was not to speak well. His goal was to say 3 sentences.
Just 3.
Any 3. They could be bad, they could be short. He only had to say 3 things. Then he was allowed to be quiet.
That's smart, because it removes the impossible standard.
Exactly. He couldn't control whether he spoke beautifully. He could control whether he opened his mouth 3 times.
And what happened?
In the first meeting, he said his 3 sentences and stopped. By the third meeting, he forgot to count.
That's the moment.
That's the moment. He was too busy talking to keep score.
Now let's give you some real tools. Because confidence is nice, but sentences are better.
Right? Because the real problem is usually very specific. You're not afraid of English. You're afraid of the silence in the middle.
That moment when you're looking for a word and nobody is talking.
So let's fill that silence with something useful. I call these rescue phrases.
The first one is for when you need a second to think. You can say, "Let me think for a second."
Let me think for a second.
Or, "How do I say this?"
How do I say this?
Native speakers use these all the time. They're not a sign of weak English. They're just normal conversation.
The second situation is when you need the other person to wait. You can say, bear with me.
Bear with me. It means, please wait for me a moment.
Bear with me, I'm looking for the word. It's polite and it's very natural.
Say it with us. Bear with me.
Bear with me.
The third one is the most important. It's when you don't know the exact word. Most people stop completely here.
They stop and they feel defeated.
But you don't need the perfect word. You just need to describe the thing.
You can say, I don't know the word, but it's something you use to...
Or, it's like a... Or, it's the thing that...
I once forgot the word stapler, and I said, the little machine that puts metal into paper.
Did they understand?
Right away. And they told me the word, and I've never forgotten it since.
That's called getting your point across. It means you successfully make someone understand your meaning.
My grammar wasn't perfect, but I got my point across.
Say it with us. Get your point across.
Get your point across.
And notice something. Getting your point across is the real goal of speaking. Not sounding perfect. Being understood.
One more. When you want to start talking to a stranger, you need to break the ice.
To break the ice means to say something friendly that makes the beginning less awkward.
I broke the ice by asking about her dog. Or somebody has to break the ice.
Break the ice.
Break the ice.
And here's a small secret. The first sentence doesn't have to be interesting. That looks nice. What is it? Is enough. The job of the first sentence is just to exist.
Sarah, I want to finish with the moment my fear actually changed.
Please.
It was a phone call. And you know how I feel about phone calls.
You've called them the enemy.
I stand by that. On the phone, you can't see faces. You can't point. You can't use your hands.
So what was the call?
I had to call a company about a delivery problem. And I put it off for 4 days.
4 days of a small job sitting in your head.
Which is heavier than the job itself. On the 4th evening, I wrote down 3 things: my order number, the problem, and what I wanted.
So you prepared the information, not the sentences.
That was the difference. Before, I used to write the whole script, and then I'd panic when the other person said something unexpected.
Like a woman in a coffee shop saying, "What are we having today?"
Exactly like that. So this time I only prepared the information. And I called.
And
And it went badly for about 20 seconds. I lost my train of thought in the first sentence.
another useful phrase. Lose your train of thought. It means you forget what you were saying in the middle of saying it.
So I said, "Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Let me start again." And the man on the phone said, "No problem. Take your time."
Take your time.
3 words. And something inside me relaxed because I suddenly understood he wasn't judging me. He was working. He wanted to fix the problem and go home.
He wasn't your teacher giving you a grade.
He wasn't my teacher. Nobody is. I had been imagining a test that didn't exist.
And did the call work?
It took 11 minutes. I used the wrong tense a few times. And I got my delivery.
So the English was imperfect, and the result was perfect.
Which is how most real conversations work.
And I think that's the honest ending. Not a magic one. You didn't become fearless. You became willing.
That's much more accurate. I still feel nervous before phone calls. I just don't wait 4 days anymore.
Sometimes progress isn't the fear going away. Sometimes progress is the fear getting smaller than your reason to speak.
So let's put today together.
We had my mind went blank from your coffee shop.
We had tongue-tied from your 7 days of pointing and smiling in France.
We had laugh it off and easier said than done.
We had get cold feet from my friend and his 3 sentences.
We had bear with me, get your point across, and break the ice.
And lose your train of thought from the phone call.
Alex, which one will you actually use this week?
Bear with me. Because it turns an awkward silence into a polite sentence. That's a very good trade.
Mine is get your point across. Because I want to remember what the goal really is.
Not perfect. Understood.
Now here's something for you. Listening right now. Think of one small speaking situation this week. Not a presentation. Something tiny.
Asking a question, sending a voice message, saying one sentence in a meeting.
And when you do it, notice something. Notice that afterwards, the world keeps going exactly like before.
Because it will. It always does.
In the comments, tell us one thing. What's the situation where you feel most tongue-tied? Write it in English. One sentence is fine. Mistakes are fine.
Actually, please make a mistake. Show everyone else that it's survivable.
And read a few other comments too. You'll see the same fear, written by people who all thought they were the only one.
If this helped you, hit like and subscribe to Daily Speak. English podcast for more real English conversations.
And remember, you don't need